we introduce VRGit, a new version control system for collaborative content creation in VR. We situate our version control system in an immersive authoring environment that allows users to design the spatial layout of an apartment. VRGit can record users' operations and visualize a history graph that is anchored to the user's non-dominant arm. Inside the history graph, each node is represented using a miniature of the version state. If a user is unsatisfied with the current design or makes a mistake, they can easily revert back to the previous state by navigating the history graph using the controller. Here, if a user wants to explore different designs of the sofa, they can easily go back to the version without the sofa and create a branch based on that version. They can then experiment with a new sofa. They can even create more branches until they find the right design. VRGit also allows previewing a version in the history graph by showing a larger miniature of that version without changing the environment that a user is working on. Here, after finishing different design variants of the sofas, a user creates multiple previews of those design variants from different branches and compares the designs by putting them side by side. Now, if they want to incorporate designs from different versions or branches, VRGit enables easy reusing of objects by selecting them in the preview. Nice choice! Beyond individual users, VRGit also facilitates communication and workspace awareness in real-time collaboration. In VRGit, users can work on the same branch together, where operations are synced on each user's end. They can also diverge into different branches to explore different designs. Here, user 2 wants to experiment with another design of the sofa, but doesn't want to interfere with her collaborators. So she goes to version 2 that does not include the sofa and creates a branch based on that version. However, when they are working on different branches, a user might not be aware of where collaborators are or see what collaborators are working on. VRGit addresses this by anchoring mini avatars in the history graph that represents which version they are working on. Here, if a user wants some quick feedback from their collaborator, instead of disturbing their workflow, they can quickly create a portal in the history graph that shares the first-person view to each other. Symmetrically, the collaborator can see the portal in the history graph being created as well and can manipulate and anchor the portal in the workspace. They can then give feedback to each other using voice chat and actively monitor and understand their collaborators' activities. Now, a user has finished multiple design options and wants to discuss with their collaborators. During the discussion, however, if the user wants to refer to a specific version, it is difficult for the other user to understand from their perspective, because each user has a different view of the local history graph on their arm. They may even suddenly disappear from their collaborator's view when they enter a different version. VRGit addresses this by introducing shared history visualization, where the local history graph moves to a shared location in the virtual scene. Similar to screen sharing, a user can start sharing their history graph and interact with the shared visualization. The operations are then synced to every user in the same version to ensure that they have the same view and understanding. In this mode, the sharer can bring everyone in the room to a different version as well. They can also create a shared preview and discuss which design they want to reuse collectively. Here, after discussion, users decide to reuse the chair and the desk from another branch for their current design. Great job! Please see our paper for full details and further user evaluation.